Fall 17 Pledge class. And I'm also the Senior Vice President of DSP, which means I will be your go-to person for everything and anything recruitment related, along with my Senior Vice President Assistant, Michelle.
Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Zhang, and I'm also a junior in the Fall 17 Pledge. And I am the Senior Vice President Assistant, so I'll be the one sending you each emails during the recruitment process. And if you have any conflicts with our events coming up, feel free to reach out to this email here, and I'll get you all sorted out.
So, Michelle and I were fortunate enough to go through the recruitment and pledgeship process together. Throughout the entire recruitment process, we were amazed to see all of the professional opportunities DSP had to offer us. But what really stood out to us were the incredible people in DSP. Throughout the process, we met brothers that were passionate about a diverse set of interests. We met brothers who were in many different majors, who practiced many different sports and were enrolled in many different clubs and activities outside of DSP. And we met brothers from many different places. But at the end of the day, what really stood out to us was the fact that we were meeting people that would go on to be our lifelong friends. Tonight is the first step in a process that could lead you to find that same on-campus family that Michelle and I found. I encourage you to talk to all of these brothers at all of these different events throughout the course of the recruitment process. So throughout Rush, you will attend many different events, and you'll be able to learn about all 4 of our pillars, including professionalism, brotherhood, diversity, and community service. I encourage you to attend all of these events, talk to as many brothers as possible, so that you can really learn about DSP and see it for yourself. And with that, I'd like to show you our recruitment video for this semester. From a number of our brothers. I encourage you to listen closely to their stories and the reasons why they love DSP. So with that, I'm going to stop talking and you're going to hear from them. So let's bring out our speakers. So please help me in giving a warm welcome to our first speaker, the president of DSP, Julia House.
Hi everyone, thank you guys all for coming tonight. We are so excited to meet every single one of you. My name is Julia, and I'm a senior from Naperville, Illinois. I'm studying accounting and operations, but most importantly, I'm a member of the Spring 17 Pledge class. So to start the night off, I want you guys to take a look to your left and take a look to your right. When I sat in your shoes almost 3 years ago now, I so happened to be sitting in between 2 people that soon would become my pledge brothers and my life friends. Isn't that cool? Like, you guys would be sitting next to people that are about to change your entire life. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah!
But when I sat in your shoes, I was also super nervous. I sat there and I watched all of these people speak and talk about all the things that they had accomplished, and I was like, how am I supposed to do any of that? They're all so put together. But I'll let you in on a little secret, just to ease your nerves a little bit. We do not have it all together. Which sounds crazy, right? Like a business grad doesn't have it all together. You guys aren't telling me. But the reality of that is that college is really hard. And you guys are going to make decisions in the next 3 to 4 years that you frankly will feel unqualified to make as a 18 to 20-year-old over-involved person who's just trying to eat 3 meals a day and pass science. So what's the most important decision is who you're going to spend all of that time with and who's going to back you when you're making those important life decisions. My brothers have always been there for me at my best, but also when I haven't been at my best. They've helped me when I experienced loss for the first time. They've been listening ears to things that I've never told anyone else before. They helped me when I was pretty sure I would never have a major, and they helped me when I then changed that major my second semester of my junior year. So they're always there for you, and that's something that I think is really special. And it's something that not everyone can really offer, because I promise you everyone will fix your resume. Anyone at Kelly can do that. But in DSP, we can offer you life friends. We can offer you hype men and hype women. Yeah. We can offer you travel buddies, bridesmaids, the people that will stay up with you all night long, and the people that will pick you up when you're stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire and your 8201 homework is due in an hour. They'll be there for you no matter what, and we are always together creating bonds, memories that literally will last forever. The love that I feel from these people is so incredible I actually can't put it into words. And one way that we really love to show you guys how we're all connected is through this little activity. So look to the back as I ask them these questions. So brothers. So raise your hand if you've ever had a class with a brother. Raise your hand if you've ever traveled abroad with a brother. Raise your hand if a brother introduced you to something that you weren't sure about and now you're so passionate about it after joining DSP. Raise your hand if one of your best dang friends is a brother. Raise your hand if you've maybe dated a brother. And raise your hand if a brother has impacted the trajectory of your career. That speaks for itself. I hope that you guys see this throughout the rush process, because we promise that we'll fix your 4-page resume and we promise that we'll help you find your dream job. But what's the most important to us is that when you guys look back on college and you think about your favorite memories, it will be with those people in the back of the room. It certainly is for me. And what I think is so cool is that it doesn't even feel like that long since I was sitting in your seats 3 years ago, because it's literally flown by with them, and I would give anything to have more time here. So I hope throughout the next 2 weeks that you can see it for yourself, the love that is here and what we're all about, because I remember when I left to meet the chapter, I wasn't thinking about, did I impress the right person or say the right thing? Is my resume going to be good enough? I was just myself, and I left, and I was like, those people are so cool and so kind. And those are the people that I wanted to spend the rest of my college career with. And in just 2 weeks, you might be able to say the same thing too. So I hope that you guys have so much fun throughout this process and can really see everything that we're about, meet all of our amazing brothers, and make a really authentic connection with them. And I'm so excited to meet all of you. So come up to me after, chat if you have any questions. But until then, I'm so proud and excited to introduce the VP of Pledge Education for the fall of 2019, Torre.
My name is Joey Torre. I am a senior from Warren, New Jersey. Yeah, baby. I couldn't be more excited to be serving as pledge ed for fall 19. Now I'm a proud member of the fall 17 I want to tell you all a little something about that cheerleading right there in my pledge class. I love them. And I never get them soft throughout the gates. But in all seriousness though, I cannot begin to put into words how important that group is these past 2 years. But I'm going to try. So coming to my sophomore year, I still hadn't really found my home yet on campus. I looked at several organizations as a freshman, but couldn't find the sense of community that I was looking for. And then thankfully, I came across Delta Sigma Pi's Meet Chapter, where I found brothers who are willing to put others before themselves, and an organization that I can not only manage to take away a lot from, but also give back to the future. So I went through recruitment, thankfully received a bid, and this is where the story begins with my pledge class and my own pledge educator, Jack Healy. Applied back then still does say that they're a group that motivates me day in, day out, that I can always go to for professional help or life advice and vice versa. I can never leave an interaction with any of them without having a huge smile on my face. And they really do bring out the best version of myself, and I don't know where I'd be without them today. And the reason why we were able to have this professionally driven, yet supportive and caring environment with our pledge class was because it was facilitated and made possible by our pledge educator, Jack Healy. And that is my mission for all of you this semester. I'm here to make sure that all of you walk away from this knowing that you've grown as much as you possibly could in this short time span on a professional level, but also saying, man, I couldn't have asked for a more enjoyable experience. Now at this point you're probably wondering, what exactly do I do? Which is definitely fair. So I'm here for a multitude of reasons, but there are two in particular I'd like to highlight. First is I'm here for your professional development because that is the purpose of Fellowship, to help you grow as professionals. We've crafted an 8-week process that will give you the tools that you can go into recruiting and get the job that you want. The other big reason I see myself as being here is to be there for you in every way you need to be. So whether it be academically, professionally, personally, socially, anything in between, I'll be there with you every step of the way for these next 8 weeks and beyond. Because while I'm sure you're all here because you want to pledge duties and eventually become a brother, I'm sure you're all here for different reasons. And I'm here to make sure that you attain those goals. Now, the amount of work that goes into the pledgeship has been comparable to that of the credit course in the past, which is definitely fair. I got to put the time and effort into it. But I will say though that if you put the work into this process, the benefits you'll get in return are unbelievable. As not only do you get a professional network that works for unbelievable companies across the country in every industry imaginable, but you also get a group of the most selfless, intelligent, funniest people that'll go miles out of their way to help you with anything you need. Everything you envision a brother, you will find here. So I will be outside if you have any questions pertaining to pledgeship, or if you just want to come over and say hi. And before I introduce the next speaker, I want to leave you with a cliche yet important piece of advice. And that is to not only smile, but to be yourself. Because take from someone that took a year to find their home here at campus. You deserve a family that's going to love you for who you are. So I hope all of you find that family here at IU, and I really hope it's still saying goodbye. So best of luck. I'm so excited to introduce our next speaker to talk about the philanthropic side of DSP, our VP of Community Service, Sarah Matthew.
Hi all, my name is Sarah Matthew and I am the VP of Community Service. So I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I am currently a sophomore studying finance, and I'm in the Fall 18 pledge class. So before I get into more about the details of community service within DSP, I wanted to give you a backstory on my why for why I started volunteering. So my freshman year of high school, I started tutoring at a local elementary school. Although it was just about a mile away from my school, these kids grew up in a very different environment. They all came from low-income, underprivileged families. And as a result, their school system was very different. So in the first couple weeks, I got paired up with a 4th grader named Cameron. And his teachers had already dismissed him as not a bright student. He was very indifferent, apathetic towards his schoolwork. And so I thought this was, oh my gosh, this is already going to be so much work. And then within the first few weeks, that frustration built up. Eventually, I said, Cameron, how are you going to go to college if you don't try now? And he responded quickly with such simple words. And he said, I'm not going to college, I'm going to get shot in high school. And when he said those words, that completely changed my perspective on life because I had never thought like that. I grew up in an environment where college is everything I've been looking forward to. And he showed me that I lived in a bubble where not all these kids grow up thinking about who they're going to play with at recess or what they're going to eat for lunch. He didn't even think that far ahead because he thought his life was going to end in 3 years. But I continued to tutor him, mentor him for the next 2 years. I saw him every Saturday, and we got very close. And I also saw that mindset shift. College actually became something he started to think about. And a kid who was not supposed, statistically, with his grades and everything, not supposed to get past 7th grade, just started high school a couple weeks ago. And so with this experience, he showed me that community service, volunteering, like, yes, we're doing good in the community, but there's also so much that selfishly, honestly, we can get out of it. These interactions that we get, help us meet people, understand different communities, and like it's opened up our eyes to a lot more out there. And so with that, I knew that volunteering was something that I wanted to continue to do for a very long time, and DSP helped me carry that on throughout college. DSP has so many community service events, and that's why it's one of our 4 pillars. But throughout the past few years, we've had large involvement with Habitat for Humanity, My Sister's Closet, Boys and Girls Club. But our 2 biggest events are, in the fall, we participate in Indiana University's Dance Marathon. Yeah! And then in the spring, we have our American Cancer Society Gala. Yeah! And so last semester, I got to experience my very first ACS Gala, and I saw a great friend of mine help DSP raise over $6,000 for the American Cancer Society. And then last fall, coming from Texas, I didn't even know what IUDM was, and I was so lucky to be able to dance on our team and help raise over $12,000. In addition to raising our team goal, our fundraising goal for IUDM, my biggest goal is increasing diversity within our community service. So this semester, we are actually I'm going to be working hand in hand with our VP of Diversity, Daniela, to not just diversify our interests in volunteering to appeal to more brothers and their interests, but also to notice communities that sometimes go unnoticed. And with that, we're going to be kicking off our semester with our very first feminine hygiene product drive. In partnership with Culture of Care. And I'm looking forward to such a great semester. And with that, if you have any questions about community service, IUDM, or just want to come say hi, feel free to come meet me outside after this event. Our next speaker, VP of Professionalism, Will Milne.
Like she said, my name is Will Milne, and I'm a sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Sorry about that. And I'm studying finance, business analytics, and I'm also serving as the vice president of professional activities this semester for DSP. So they come to me all the time and say, "Hey, Will, what's professionalism?" They don't actually do that, but if they did, I would say, "Man, that's a tough question." Professionalism can mean a lot of different things in a lot of different scenarios to a lot of different people. Is professionalism having a 1-page resume? I don't know. When I got here, I had a 3-page resume because I was active in high school and I did NHS. Is professionalism ironing your shirt before meet the chapter? I hope not, because I didn't. Is professionalism wearing AirPods all the time? Yes, that's it. That's professionalism. So I'll kind of go through why I decided to do professionalism this semester, which kind of started the moment I joined Meet the Chapter, the moment I came to Meet the Chapter last year. When I was sitting in your shoes. I didn't actually know how to tie a tie at that point, so my roommate had to do it for me. So I really, was level 1 professionalism. And throughout pledgeship, I really got to learn a lot more throughout that from the brothers. And during pledgeship, I was actually fortunate enough to be on the professional events committee, and we planned an etiquette dinner. And it was really cool kind of learning myself how to act in that kind of situation, and also being able to give back to my brothers to help them out. And that's really what inspired me to take on this position. So in this position, I'm in charge of 3 types of professional events. We have internal development events, and those are the events where brothers get to give back to brothers. An example of that could be like a resume workshop where we all tear each other's resumes apart. It could be a recruiting workshop where we give tips and tricks on how to recruit for getting a job, which is why we're all here. Or it could be something as simple as just asking someone to look over your LinkedIn. And that all kind of comes back to us brothers helping brothers and helping everyone develop together. After that, we have external development events, and those are basically any event where we're working with an outside group. That could be like women in business, other business fraternities, or even maybe some of the workshops. And we do that because we realize that while we're a huge group of young professionals, we don't have all the knowledge on how to behave professionally, and neither do they. So we figure by working together, again, we can keep building each other up and end out better in the end. Finally, we have corporate events. And those are events where we either visit a company, like we're doing tomorrow with Eli Lilly. Shout out everyone who signed up. Or they could be events where companies come here, like we have in a couple weeks where EJ Gallo's coming down, or even after that, we're going to have someone from Deloitte come down in a couple weeks. So these are really just to help brothers get to know companies, maybe find out what they want to do as a career, or just to kind of like hang out, eat some food, and talk to recruiters. And then finally, kind of how I benefited from DSP professionally, and this is just my story. I'm sure each and every brother has their own story on how they have been helped professionally through DSP. But I was sitting in SPIA, which is my home, in April, and as a freshman, I wasn't really like thinking I was going to get an internship. My compass teacher said the other day that like 30% of freshmen get internships. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to go with it. So I've basically given up, and I had a couple interviews for a company called Sweetwater back in Fort Wayne, and they hadn't really responded in like 2 months, so I'd pretty much given up on that. And I was whining about that at the SPIA table, and one of the brothers said, hey, why don't you write him a thank you note? So I, begrudgingly did so. Wrote out a thank you note. He looked at it and said, no, that's not it. So he went back, rewrote it with me, helped me out, explained why it was important to do, and I sent that. Less than an hour later, I got a response saying they really appreciated me going the extra miles in the thank you note, and that they hoped I would bring that kind of enthusiasm and over-the-top attitude to the internship that summer. That's just one way that I've been benefited directly by DSP, and I do encourage you to go out in the hall afterwards to talk to brothers and ask how they've been benefited professionally. But through DSP, and with that, I'd like to introduce the more fun side of DSP with our VP of Social, Frank.
Waffle. All right, I hope you guys are doing great today. Hope you guys are enjoying your Meet the Chapter experience so far. Like Will said, my name is Frank Hansler. I am a junior. Thank you. I'm a junior from outside Philadelphia.
Yeah!
Thank you. Yeah. Good representation. This is my third semester in DSP, which means I'm a member of the amazing Fall 18 Pledge Class. Love you guys. Just before I begin my speech, just a quick question. Does anybody know the score of the Bears-Packers game?
0-0.
Oh, it's a barn burner. Anyway, before everyone gets mad, I'll get back to my script. So I will be serving as the Vice President of Social Activities for DSP this fall semester. Now, especially if you're rushing for the first time, you might be wondering, what is a professional business fraternity? Why do they need a social director? And I was right there with you. About a year ago when I was sitting in your seats, when I came to meet the chapter, I thought all DSP kids did was sit around a table and talk about their resumes, cover letters, or where they interned last summer. And while, as Will just said, professionalism is a huge part of our fraternity, so too is brotherhood, and it's one of our pillars, and that's kind of where my duties fall for this semester. Now I just want to tell you guys a little bit about what I have planned for our semester. My biggest event that I planned is our fall formal. Super excited. We're going to Nashville, Tennessee. It's a great city. Super excited about that. Any country music fans? Like you guys already. Other events that I planned, we got a boating outing on Lake Monroe, hiking in Brown County, trivia nights, movie nights. We go to IU football games together. Basically anything that brings the brothers together. And I also work closely with my committee and two appointed positions, the Director of Athletics, Eric Sullivan, and the Bureau of Brotherhood, Derek Linville. So now that you know a little bit about what I have planned for this semester, I think it's kind of important to highlight how I came to rush DSP. So when I came from Pennsylvania, I came to IU knowing 0 people. Last kid from my high school to go to IU was like 35 years ago. So I literally knew no one here. And over the course of freshman year, I started to meet a couple people, made a couple friends, a couple close friends, but I didn't really find that second home that I kept hearing about. And so when I left for the summer, went back to Pennsylvania, it was pretty apparent that I was missing something. So I made it a plan to go searching for it when I came back sophomore year. So that's what I did, and my search ultimately led right here to DSP's Meet the Chapter, and I loved every second of it. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret. It wasn't because I was super excited to edit my resume or write 1,000 cover letters. It was because of the brothers that I was meeting, the conversations that I had with them, people that I had just met that day, but I felt like I could talk to them for hours and hours. And that's really what made me want to be the Vice President of Social Activities and kind of foster that brotherhood among us. So now I know I've mentioned brotherhood a lot, but now it's kind of important to dive into what that means for our fraternity and what that means to me. So you've heard a little bit from Sarah and Will about our professionalism and our community service pillars, and you'll hear from Daniela next about diversity. But I really think that the brotherhood pillar kind of links all three together. We would not be able to have the vast alumni network and helpful alumni network that we do have without the roots being planted in brotherhood while we're on campus. We serve our community so much better when we serve it together as one unit. Finally, we value each and every brother's uniqueness, quirks, and overall diversity, because at the end of the day, we know that we're one big DSP community. Brotherhood to me is that creation of a family, and that's really what I found here with DSP, and I am thankful for that every day. The brothers you see in the back have been through some of the best times of my college experience, and also have helped me through those rough patches. And I am truly thankful every day for DSP and to have those brothers behind me. Thank you guys, thank you for listening to me. It's pretty weird being up here. Last fall I was sitting like right there, I think. So thank you guys for listening to me. Please come up to me at the end of this, ask me any questions you have. I'd love to answer them. Now I will introduce our Vice President of Diversity.
Hello, my name is Daniela Kumar, which I know is kind of a mouthful. Funny story, when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher used to always make fun of me because as she would hand out papers, it would go, Jack, Maddie, Alex, Daniela Cristina Kumar. And she would consistently tell me that I was the only Daniela in the class, so it wasn't necessary to write out my entire name. But I was like, I like my name, it's super cool and different, so anyway, I kept doing that. So if you didn't already memorize it, my name is Daniela, and I am from Miami, Florida. That's really exciting. Weston. Anyway, so not really Miami, but close. And I'm a part of the Fall 18 Pledge class. Anyway, I want to start off by explaining why I decided to rush DSP. So, like most of you in here, a year ago I was a freshman, and I was actually sitting right there, so right where you're sitting. And I was super, super confused as to what I was doing. Actually in Indiana, I'm from Miami, so I was like, I don't know. And in this room, I was super confused. I didn't know what a business fraternity was, and I honestly didn't think I was gonna feel at home here. When I got off the plane from Miami, I just didn't feel safe. Until one thing happened. Last year, the speaker of diversity was Danya Gutierrez, wherever you are. And the second she started speaking, it was like the first time I felt like I could actually relate to something. She was just being goofy, and she said that it's weird to fit in, and it felt exactly what I was feeling. So that became instantly home. And home has been many different things to me. I've lived in Caracas, Venezuela, which is where my family is from, my first years growing up. Most of my childhood was in Atlanta, Georgia. Then I moved to Miami 6 years ago, and now I'm in Bloomington. So, the big city of Bloomington. But basically, all of my friends and all of my family are like, please don't leave, what are you doing? What is in Indiana? And usually I would say corn, because I like corn and I thought that was funny of me, but the true answer is that no matter where you go, you're going to make new experiences, and you're going to meet people that bring value to your life, and you can bring value to theirs. And that's exactly what DSP did for me. It brought so much value to my life, and I hope that I brought value to somebody's life.
Yup. Yeah.
And anyway, it really created that sense of home. So DSP's goal is this, to bring value to people's lives, and also to make it known that diversity isn't being from a foreign country, which a lot of us are, or speaking different languages, or eating every single food that there is to eat. It's really just being open to what other people have to say and to other cultures and traditions. And the person who taught me this was actually my best friend growing up in Georgia. Her name's Catherine, and she's American, and her family's from Kentucky, and she's lived in Georgia her entire life. We were like 3 when we met, and she was so intrigued by all the different foods we were eating and the fact that we always spoke Spanish in the house. And she was just like, I want to know more, I want to know more, I want to know everything. And to me, that was diversity. It was somebody wanting to learn about my traditions and being so passionate about it. She taught me what it's like to be passionate about who I am and to be passionate about other people. So diversity in DSP is going to Miriam's African fashion culture show, or going to see Sanja and Megan dance for Ross royalty, or even staying up all night FaceTiming Shay in the middle of the summer because I remember that I have to go up and speak in front of all of you guys and explain why diversity is so important to me. So here's me trying, and I hope that you guys will come to the Brotherhood event next week where I can go a little bit more in depth about what exactly I'm going to be doing here and where I want DSP to go, where it will go. So thank you so much for listening. Please talk to me after if you have any questions or anything. Thank you. So next I want to call up the bike team.
Hello, I'm Ben. I don't actually have a class or.
Hey, we love you, Ben.
Sort of just showed up and no one asked questions.
I'm Jackie, everyone. I'm from Skokie, Illinois. I am from the Spring 18 Pledge class. And Ben and I are from the Women and Men's Little 500 bike team, and we're here to find motivated individuals to join our team.
Yeah, the Little 500, the biggest party weekend at IU. But did you guys know that there's an athletic component to it?
Well, ironically, Little 5 is actually a bike race. It is the largest intercollegiate bike race in the country. For those of you that are freshmen, this will be the first year you get to experience it. And for those of you that are sophomores, you'll get a second chance to experience the beautiful event that happens every year. Every year, around 15,000 audience members flock to Bill Armstrong Stadium to take in these beautiful 2 days and take in everything that's going on, from all the teams participating and getting to see all the hard work that everyone puts in. And about roughly 250 students from IU are the only ones allowed to be in this bike race, with the men doing 200 laps and the women doing 100 laps. And over the course of our time at IU, we've fallen in love with this race and have been able to make it one of the greatest moments of our college careers. And we invite all of you, or any of you, to join our bike team and take in this experience as well. But before that, we want to tell you a little bit about our experiences on the bike team.
Yeah, I wish that I had like an emotional or like fun story on how I joined the bike team, but I was actually tricked into being on the bike team. I was at a DSP function and I was talking to some people like, oh, why don't you come out and go for a ride? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, why not? I'm kind of in good shape, I'll go for a ride. So we go for a ride that seems like 95 miles, so it's probably like around the stadium or something. And we finished and they're like, oh, awesome, welcome to DSP's Little 5 team. And I was like, what is the Little 5? So I Google it, I watch maybe 10 races and I'm like immediately obsessed. The competitive side of me kicks in, I'm like, we gotta do this. So I get really close to the team. It's a really fun trip to San Diego. You know, we're riding along the beach and I get an alert on my phone. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go take the top 3 final. So I turn around, I go to the University of San Diego to take one of my my finals. But honestly, I transferred to IU, and coming to DSP alone was an amazing experience. And being able to do the Little 500 just kind of made me understand what the fraternity was all about. So it's been one of the greatest experiences since I've been here.
And so for my journey, it's been a little bit non-traditional. So my journey started when I was a freshman and I was pledging in the spring. And so some of my upperclassmen friends were riders, and so I was able to get close to them, and I went to a few practices, and I was like, how did this all come together? There's a bunch of people jumping on a moving bike, jumping off a moving bike, like, this is not safe, everyone's gonna die. And so, unfortunately, luckily that doesn't happen. And so then when race day came along, I was on my tippy toes, short people problems, against the fence, and I was taking in every single moment of the race. I was mesmerized. And walking away from the stadium that day, I knew that I wanted to be a part of something that was this incredible.
So the following year, I decided to join the team. I went through rookie week, I went through the various practices, the different trials, and everything they have to do to be eligible to be riding on race day. And so while I was on track to be riding, unfortunately in the spring, during spring break, I found out that my right foot was fractured. This is where you all say "aww." And I wasn't able to ride. So rather than walking away from the team, I was told by my captain that I could actually be student coach, since I knew the rules of the race, how everything worked, how everything was supposed to function, and everything fit together. I decided to take on the role of student coach. And as student coach, I was able to be in the pit on race day, for quals. I was constantly there with the team every step of the way, and I felt like I was there as a rider. And so if there's anything you take away from me today is that, of course, we would love to have any of you as a rider, and we encourage it. But for some reason, if you guys can't ride, or if you put in all the work and then you realize, oh, I won't be able to ride on race day, there's many other ways for you to get involved, and we would love to have any of you be a part of either of them.
Yeah, I don't care if you are, out of shape, tall, short. I've asked every brother in the room, and they all said they don't want to be on the DSP team, so I gotta find new people. But yeah, so one of the greatest aspects of the race, though, is being in it, but as well as having 160 brothers screaming your name and cheering and clapping. But instead of telling you about it, hopefully I can show you, and some of the brothers can, help me show you what it sounds like to be at the level 5 race. So. And then I crashed. But seriously, please come find myself or Jonky, and then raise your hand if you're on DSP's Little 5 team and you're here. Yeah, in the back. Answer any questions.
Yeah, next up, we'd like to invite our new Indians, Zach and Philip.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dylan Bonner. And I'm Zach Haynes. And we are juniors and proud to be part of the brand new Spring 19. It was crazy to think that only a few months ago, Zach and I were sitting exactly where you were. But on a more personal note, I want to start with a little story. And in fact, I've actually sat in your seat 4 times before. I've gone through the recruitment process 4 times. I've made every mistake in the book. Legit every mistake in the book. And the one rule that I've always forgot was to be yourself. You heard Joe talk about it earlier today. And that really means something. And there was a brother in here that helped me get through that process. And his name was Horace Mallix, wherever he is. Thank you. And the thing that Horace did was, before every event, he'd write me a handwritten note. Whether it was a quote, or just a little something to inspire my confidence. And that really helped a ton. It helped me to find myself. And hence why I'm standing here today. And it's things like these that the brothers will be willing and more than willing to do for each other. And that's really the kind of family we've created day in and day out. And I'm so proud that I have somebody like Zach and all the brothers that are standing up here today. And it really means something, because the relationships that you form here are unlike any other. And that moment when Horace wrote me those notes, I knew that although I went through 4 recruitment processes, DSP was the right choice for me. I want to turn it over to Zach to talk a little bit more about our friendship and the friendships that we've made over the past few months.
Absolutely, Dylan. So I think.
Yes, Zach?
Yeah. All right. On the time here, okay? We're on here. No, but seriously, one of the most undersold things about this fraternity is the relationships that you build. I mean that genuinely. The things that you can build here are character for yourself, the people around you. To give you a little bit of an idea, we were in your seats just at the beginning of this year, and I hope you listened to what our president, Julia Howard, said. Looking to the left and right, Dylan and I had sat right next to each other, had spoken a little over 10 words to each other, and our friendship has come such a long way. Really, it had all the key aspects. You'd stay up late studying for all your classes, having some guy talk, traveling halfway across the world to Australia, getting lost in a city, but most importantly, watching The Bachelor every Monday night. But seriously, having this guy by my side, I was very fortunate to have been able to make it through the recruitment process and meet our new pledge class. Really, spring 19, give one more hoorah.
Yes!
These people have pushed us, taught us our strengths, our weaknesses, our boundaries, our lifestyle. They have been our anchor. And I know for every single one of them, I could go to them at any time. I have. And every single one of them can come to me at any time for anything. And it's because of that family that we've made here on this campus that we got to experience a comfort zone. One where we could go out and truly meet the brothers for who they are, being yourself. And those experiences that we made along the way, almost inexplainable. So I'm going to give it back to Dylan to try and explain them.
A lot of experiences here that we've had, not only between Zach and I, but with the brothers that are up here today. And it's hard to pick just one. But I'd say the overarching theme of what I've learned, at least, is that DSP is here to support you. No matter it's a professional goal, at least for myself, I have aspirations to be an entrepreneur and start my own company. And Zach wants to earn a CPA and become an accountant.
Yeah, I do.
And those are just professional goals. Yeah. But we also have personal goals. So are our brothers, and so do you. And we're here to support you in whatever those hopes and dreams will be. And as you go through this process of personal development, hopefully with us, you'll be there, we'll be there, and you may fall. You definitely will.
You'll fall.
Maybe physically, yes. But we'll be there to support you. We're going to be there to pick you up, support you, and then help you celebrate as you continue on.
Absolutely.
It's that family that we continue to talk about, made up of unique individuals that are optimistic, positive, and open-minded to helping every single person in here. So I want to turn it over back to Zach to explain a little bit more about what you can expect from us moving forward.
Everybody in here, raise your hand if you know exactly what you came here for tonight. Okay, all right, well, the brother, aside from the brothers. Good, that's what I thought. Now, at the beginning of this year, I had no idea what to expect from this fraternity. One of my friends, Horace Malik, actually, yeah, I know, right? Told me to come to the Meet the Chapter, and I did. And for every single one of you that might even have the smallest shred of doubt or not knowing what to expect from this fraternity, I can tell you it created a sense of belonging for me on this campus. Genuinely. I cannot walk 5 minutes in any direction, well maybe now I could. 5 minutes in any direction without seeing a brother on this campus, someone I genuinely want to interact with, stop, catch up with them, and I know it's the same for both ways. Take that to heart. Know that there is no other community, no other organization like that that can be on this campus, and I promise you that. Yeah! That's right, Victor! But genuinely, from this fraternity, I've been very fortunate enough to have academic tutors, career mentors, lifelong friends. People will probably be at my funeral. Anyway, genuinely though. Genuinely. Alright, no, but seriously. We're time. I absolutely am thankful to the end of the earth for these people. And they've taught me one key thing that I hope you'll learn a little bit about this Meet the Chapter and other events moving forward, and it's always to pay it forward. So, with that being said, I would like to introduce our senior speakers, Colin and Nyla.
Hello everyone, my name is Nyla. I also go by OJ for my last name Owens Johnson, and I'm from Fishers, Indiana.
Hey everyone, I'm Colin Cunningham. I'm originally from Watchung, New Jersey. I'm not joking.
Alright, we're both seniors. We survived the Kelly LLC mold era, so congrats to us on that.
Thank you. And in addition to both being seniors, we're also proud members of the
Spring 17 Pledge Class.
And we are almost as excited as those guys to have you guys here tonight. It's such a great time. You guys are going to have such a blast. We can't wait. And it's going to be great.
So I remember when we were in your shoes, we had so many questions on our mind. Like, what exactly is a business fraternity?
Why do all these people in the back keep yelling? Don't get tired.
And most importantly, when I look good in purple, check.
Or maybe you guys are just here because you're hoping that this organization is going to be the right fit for you.
So, as most of you may know, our recruitment theme this semester is See It For Yourself.
So, given that, I'm going to do a little circus on my action. With the theme being See It For Yourself, we thought who better to ask to figure out what you guys are looking for in DSP. Not to see you guys are really scared. Just a quick question, don't worry. Nyla, do we have any eager beavers over there that are looking at us?
All right, I have Emily here.
Emily, great to meet you, Emily.
Sophomore. All right. So, Emily, what are you looking to find in DSP?
Well, I guess some people that will like always be there for you and like help you academically and brotherhood.
Actually hoping you would say that, so perfect answer. I promise I didn't tell her to say that. But if Colin and I looked even a little bit more like, people would probably think we were brothers just because we've done so much together. So Colin and I have studied abroad together in Barcelona. We've traveled together to Morocco. We've taken classes together, including improv, which is why we decided this would be a great idea today. Outside of just Colin, I have other brothers that I'm also friends with. I've lived with brothers. I've also cried with brothers. So you can imagine we do everything together. So I'm proud to be a part of this fraternity because I've gotten to find that, and so hopefully you'll be able to find that as well.
Thanks.
All right.
And great answer, by the way. So we've got my man over here, roughing it, sitting on the stairs, just so you guys know. What's your name, my guy? Josh. Josh. That's a sick name. Can you tell me something that you were looking for? Absolutely. Making friends, networking, professionalism. Well, I got you up there. Yeah, absolutely. So, quick little fun fact about professionalism and kind of my personal experience and take on it. I'll stay up here if you want power.
Yeah.
So, I actually pledged in spring 17 with Nyla, like you said. Our pledge educator that semester was 2 years older than us. He was a junior going into his internship that year in the summer at this company called Baxter. And I was like, that's somebody's name, that's not a company, I don't know what that is. So I was like, okay, it sounds kind of cool. They do like healthcare stuff, that seems interesting. Had never been on my radar before until I met that guy, became a pledge ed, and now I'm actually going to be going to work at Baxter with him alongside him as well. There is that you might have no idea what you guys are going to do, and I certainly had no idea what I was going to do. But you're going to run into somebody random, you're going to meet somebody, you're going to know someone that knows someone that knows someone's cousin's sister, and they could be the people that set you up for networking, maybe some friendship, right? And that's, thank you, great, by the way.
So before we get kicked off the stage tonight, we want to share some of our senior wisdom. So this advice is free, but listen up because it is priceless. Alright,
So if I had to boil down some words of advice to you guys to just 3 words, bear with me. Simply put, it would be shoot your shot. What I mean by that is don't be afraid to put yourself out there. All right? College is one of the best times, man. Just so much fun. You guys are gonna love it. You guys are already in college. You should probably figure that out already. But it's also gonna be one of the last times that making mistakes isn't really gonna matter to people in a couple of years. So go out, do something different, try something that you want to try. Talk to that person in your class that maybe you don't know. Take a class that you want to take because you're interested in it, not because it's a mandatory major class. And even just more simply, say hi to that person walking down the hallway or across the street from you. And I can assure each and every one of you guys that if you just take one of those
That was so cute. If you guys can't tell, we have so many soft guys in DSP. Like, we love it. So I know this has been said many times tonight, but always be yourself and never be afraid to do what you love. You can tell that from our name tags. Look at those today. They kind of have all of our interests, but no matter if that's your passion for shrubbery, being a past Viner or current TikToker, or making a viral BuzzFeed quiz about eggs, I did that. You can find that online. No matter what, we are proud of all of our differences, and we also embrace them. So Delta Sigma Pi is an amazing organization made up of amazing people. But what makes us so special is that every brother has something to offer. So thanks for being here tonight.
And thank you guys for listening to our completely unsolicited advice. We really appreciate it. And now it's our esteemed pleasure to introduce our alumni speaker and quite possibly the kindest and smartest human being you guys might ever meet, Jamie Burke.
Hi everybody, there's a lot more people here than I thought sitting up here. So yeah, thank you guys for that wonderful introduction. My name is Jamie Burton. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'm from the Fall 14 Pledge Class. So yeah, so you've heard some really cool things today, and I'm here to just talk about how all of this right here, right now in college, kind of does transfer to that like post-grad adult life that you all are going to be in 4 or 3 short years. It happens. I'm sorry. But I will say that, you know, when I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you guys tonight, I was thinking about my time in college. Obviously, you could talk to any one of these brothers about how DSP has shaped their college career. But for me, it really started to take a turn of, wow, the decisions that I made in college and the people that I met basically shaped everything for me. And I could probably pinpoint every good thing, whether it was a person I met, an experience I had, an opportunity that I got to have at work, post-grad, to DSP, either inadvertently or directly. And that's really cheesy, but I promise that I will prove it to you. So with that, I want to give you 3 questions to consider as you're going through this rush or recruitment process. To think about as you're, you know, talking to people, meeting people, probably a little overwhelmed, but that's okay too. So the first question is, are these people your people? And you're probably like, Jamie, how on earth am I supposed to know if these people are my people after like talking to them for 10 minutes at a rush event? And you're right, it's hard sometimes. But I will say that, you know, some of these people you're going to feel like you just want to go eat ice cream with them on a Tuesday night and talk about anything else but school and just get to know them. And you're going to spend a ton of time with them in SPIA, and you're going to feel like you could spend a ton of time with them in SPIA. But you'll kind of get an idea of that. And I think a couple of you had a similar story, but I can take it a little bit of a step further. When I rushed my first semester, sophomore year, one of the career coaches was like, hey, you need to meet Alyssa Butler, you're rushing DSP, you know, see if you can find her, talk to her, she's a brother. And it's like, okay, cool. So I sat in your shoes, went to the open networking event, and found Alyssa Butler. And we chatted, and we had a great conversation, and then she was also my rush buddy the next week. And flash forward 5 years later, and when I go home to Chicago tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to go back to Alyssa Butler's nice house because we are roommates, and she's my best friend, and she's my person. So the people that you meet tonight at Rush could very well either be your future roommates or future husbands or whatever, and that's awesome. So the second question that I have for you is, are these people the type of people that you can see yourself being mentored by? Mentorship is really big for me, and it's something that I care deeply about, but I didn't know that when I was a freshman. I was looking to just really pass A100 and not be lost everywhere. And so when I got to sophomore year, some of the older brothers were like, hey Jamie, what are you actually interested in? And that conversation turned into, hey Jamie, you said you were interested in this. Why don't you talk to Andrew Tan, who did this human capital internship at Lloyd? And after that conversation, it turned into, hey Jamie, you should join a consulting workshop, which turned into, hey Jamie, I hear you've got an internship with EY. And, you know, what can I do to help you there? Which fast forward 4 years, and I'm celebrating my 2-year anniversary at EY this week. So, become your mentors to this organization that can have a profound impact on the trajectory of your career. It certainly has mine. And the third question is as you're going through this process, do you see this being an organization that you can give back to? And you've heard a lot of people talking about giving back. I think I just hit a buzzword that Frank was waiting for me to hit. But a lot of people talk about giving back. It looks different for a lot of people. For some people like these rock stars up here, it's being on exec and serving the fraternity and basically running its day-to-day operations. For other people, it looks like diversifying the fraternity with their awesome skills and interests and talents. But for me, it looked a lot, and I alluded to this before, mentorship. It was being present for people in FIA as a senior, just sitting and talking with people, and seeing what they needed, seeing how I could help. And flash forward 4 years to last night, in which one of my mentees from BSP, Henry Hudson, was sitting on my couch and we were talking about a new job. So, it's one of those things that getting back to the fraternity lasts for a very long time, and even after college is on. So, I know you guys are probably getting stir crazy, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But I really do want you to know that all of these stories that everyone has shared are true, they're honest, they're real, and they're special enough, if you're lucky enough, they can last you like they've lasted me, traveling, standing up in a brother's wedding with other brothers, living with them, doing life with them. So I hope you all have that experience, whether it's here or elsewhere. It's a phenomenal place. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to talk with anyone afterwards. But thank you to Emily and team for having me back. It's really good to be here with you all and to see you guys. So thank you.
So now that we've heard from our wonderful alumni, please help me in giving a warm welcome to two of our faculty members, Catherine Glass and David Rubenstein.
Everybody, oh my God, you guys look so fabulous and focused and wonderful. I gotta say, I really admire all of you because my freshman year of college, I was double majoring in boys and parties. I want to give out a shout out to anybody who's in my 801, 802 class. This is a rare, personal appearance. I know, right? I do exist. Yeah. So I went to a really small high school, and I'm amazed at how big some of the high schools are. Who went to a really big high school? Who thinks they went to the biggest high school? Tell us.
I have 1,400 people in my graduating class.
1,400. What's your name?
Sean.
Sean?
Yeah.
1,400?
I had 1,000 kids in my graduating class.
1,000? Anybody can beat the 1,400? 1,600. 1,600. Sean, I think you're on the record. So this would be like a small class. Yeah, I can't even fathom that. Anybody go to a really small high school? Tell me your name.
My name is Shri.
Shri, how many?
950.
Graduating class was how many?
275.
275. 89. No? Are we up?
93.
93. So tell me.
32.
Tell me your name. Ben. 32. So Ben, you can relate to me. There were 55 in my high school graduating class. And got onto a really big campus, I felt overwhelmed. Hence the double major in boys and parties, right? Well, what you have to do, if you're having that feeling of, okay, I've landed in Bloomington, it's just a lot. Well, think about it this way. Think of IU as being like your state, right? There's like 40,000 people here. Are you gonna know 40,000 people? No. Not unless you're running for office and then, I don't know. But, yeah, not. So, you can get around your state, but you're not gonna know everybody. That gives you a small sense of belonging, but you're not landed yet, right? So now you think about Kelly, right? And think about Kelly as your town. Because now we're in a smaller group, but it's still a lot of people, right? It's still thousands of people. And now you're in a situation where you walk down the hall and you recognize someone, you don't necessarily know them, but you've seen them here, and you're getting to know a few people, and you can get from point A to point B in the fastest possible way, and you can recognize anybody who's lost. So now you're kind of narrowing it down. But the thing is, you need to find your neighborhood. That's the place where you live. Those are the people that you're going to see. That's who you're going to go, call on when you need something. Those are the people that really make you feel at home. So while you go through this process, make sure that you're thinking about, what's my neighborhood? Where do I feel like I'm home? And if that's DSP, which I hope it will be, then that's wonderful. If it's not, that's okay too. So either way, enjoy the process, enjoy your time, and stay business majors, for God's sake. So with that, I want to bring on my neighbor. No, it's not Mr. Rogers.
Yay, sister.
Yay.
I've been around a long time, and I need sort of apologize to you. I've got like a shrapnel in my knee. I got, not to embarrass myself, or you've got tubes coming out of my front. I got chemicals sewn on my back, and I'm a mess. I'm a total mess. But I wouldn't miss being with you tonight for anything. You are Delta Sigma Pi, and I need you all to join. I need you to join, and you'll never regret it. I just met Toby, and I asked her if she'd help me, and she's going to come forward and give me a hand. And that's so gracious of you, too. One thing I want to say, and I say it from the heart, okay? If you do not join DSP, if you do not become a brother of Delta Sigma Pi, and I'll use Toby, if you do not become a brother, okay, I want you to become a brother, okay, go ahead, we need you all, okay, and if you don't become a brother, and I'll say Toby's name, but you can take out that name and put in your name, and you can put in your name, and he can put in his name, and all of you can put in your own name, because it applies to you just as much as it applies to Toby, okay? If Toby didn't join Delta Sigma Pi, 10 years from now, and she'd be out for about 5 years, graduated, and doing fine, and she would be doing fine if she didn't join, because you know why? Because she is fine. And you are fine. And I've got no worry for you, and you should have no worry for yourself. You look at whether you join or not, you look any of us up, and we'll stand alongside of you and fight alongside of you. I'm proud to do that too. All of you are fantastic. But if she didn't join DSP, 10 years from now, you know what people would call her? They'd call her Toby. They'd call you you. And that's right, because you're you. and Toby and Toby. That's fine. She'd be fine and you'd be fine. But when Toby joins Delta Sigma Pi, when all of you join Delta Sigma Pi, 10 years from now, people aren't going to call Toby Toby. No, they won't. They're not going to call you you. They're going to call, and I know this. I know this. They're going to call you boy. The world needs you. So join. Emily's going to tell us how.
Thank you so much, Ruby and Catherine. So just a few final notes before we move out in the hallway for some open networking. Next week, we're going to start off open recruitment with Brotherhood Night on Wednesday. And then game night will follow on Thursday, and then professional interviews on Friday. After your professional interview on Friday, you'll be notified whether you move on to closed recruitment or not. Go ahead. And then I also wanted to go through some eligibility requirements in order to join DSP. You have to have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA. If you're a freshman, please use your high school GPA, as you do not yet have an official IU GPA. You must have 3 semesters left on campus, which probably means that you're a freshman or a sophomore. If you're a junior, don't worry, that doesn't mean you're ineligible, but it does mean that you can't go abroad next semester or your senior year in order to join DSP. You also must be an undergraduate student majoring in one of these majors. Pre-business students are eligible. So if you have any questions at all about whether you're eligible to join DSP or not, please email joindsp@gmail.com, and Michelle and I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Just one final reminder, our next event is next Wednesday, Brotherhood Night. It's the September 11th, and it's from 8 to 10 right next door in Hotel 2075. And then one last thing, if you didn't sign in the beginning, please make sure you sign in. This is really important for us to be able to send you any reminder emails or update emails as the recruitment process progresses. And then we're going to move out in the hallway for open networking. I encourage you to talk to as many brothers as possible. Be bold, ask questions so that you can truly see it for yourself. Thank you so much.